Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show.
We did it! We did it! I told y'all we were gonna do it! What's going on, Canes fans and my college football family? Man, I was so hoarse at that point. I had lost my voice, screaming and yelling for the Canes. And they came out victorious over Clemson. We talk about this every stream whenever we see that intro play. It feels good to be back. After missing last week, we have a few things to talk about tonight. It is still spring practice. Miami is officially in full pads this week. They had spring practice number 8 yesterday. We won't dive too deep into specifics or standouts at spring practice right now, just because it's a lot of repeating things, I guess. It's a lot of the same names that you've been hearing. But I do have some exciting news. I'm sure you've already heard that the scrimmage, I can't even talk here, the spring scrimmage is tomorrow, and there are a lot of big-time recruits that are going to be in the house. But before we get started, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. Yo, we made it. We made it. Let's go. I'm feeling good. It's been a heck of a week. It's been a long week. It's been a really long day. I did want to take just a second before we get deep into the football talk, and we gonna get real deep, and show you where I've been for the past week and a half or so. I won't take too much time explaining this, but if there are any plumbers in the house, as a matter of fact, let me back up. Even if you're not a plumber, you can probably tell me what's wrong with this picture here. So my past week and a half or so has been this. And then today, it was this. And this. So we've had some more plumbing issues. I'm not going to bore you with it, but just letting you know. And we've also started clearing off our property. After 3 years, we've really been trying and waiting to be able to go through and fully clean up the property, set everything up, and we finally got started today. So just a heads up, just letting people know where I've been living life, been tackling some things at home that have needed to be addressed for quite some time. Need to hire them young nephews for some labor. I sure did. Here's what's really cool. They'll work for slushies. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. Very happy to see everybody here bright and early for the stream. My good friend Rueben B. Nick Snyder checking in. Did you go to the event, Nick? How was it? Chris Kane in the building. Salty Ran. Master Bates. Sesco Canes. Sage. My man Fresh. Lansing Moore. Lewis, we are going to talk about Cam Moore tonight. I do want to discuss the pro day a little bit since we missed that. There were some exciting things that happened there. I actually have a little image that's going to break down the 40 times from the guys that ran at UM's pro day, because obviously there's one in particular that's getting a lot of attention in a negative way, but there was also an explanation provided. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I also want to talk about some negativity and drama surrounding Rueben Bain. I don't feel this way. You probably have already seen the title. Has Rueben Bain regressed? We're going to talk openly and honestly about that. There are things being said on social media, and I just want to address it and give my opinion on it. BW Feldy, Ryan, what's up? My man, Doo-Doo. Kevin Porter, I appreciate y'all being here. Chris Brown, Juan Manuel, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Been laying the pipe. I have been laying a lot of it. A whole lot of it. So, again, the scrimmage happening tomorrow. I think I have the schedule here. Right now, the team is on that Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. No longer Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Practice number 8 happened on Thursday. As I said, we are officially in full pads. But this Saturday, tomorrow, there is going to be a big scrimmage with lots of big-time recruits in attendance. So here's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be some blue-chip guys. There's going to be some names that Miami has been recruiting for quite some time. So it's important to make an impression on these guys. You're going to want to see the players go hard and make, again, an impression on them, the coaching staff as well, high energy, and have a really good scrimmage tomorrow. Now, that is obviously important to make an impression on those guys, build that relationship. But what's more important really is getting W's this season. So those guys are going to come in. They're going to be in paradise, going to be beautiful. You know, they're going to see that gorgeous orange and green U. But Miami's got to win games this season. But this is a step in that process, working towards it. It's just March. This is all we can do right now, all they can do right now. So the team's got to take care of business this year. It's got to be 9, 10-plus wins again in 2025. But it's really good to see so many big names in the building. You're probably going to see some other former Canes hanging around. If there are numbers and things released that we can talk about, we'll talk about it either tomorrow night or on Sunday. You know how Mario Cristobal is about this type of stuff. They will probably release some numbers, but it might not be super deep. We'll see. Corey Gray with the 55 months. Thank you, my man. I appreciate the love. What's up, Coop? What's up, Canes fam? We're feeling good, man. We're a little tired, but we're feeling good. Thank you for the love, Corey Gray. Yeah, so that's not the spring game. Not to be confused with the spring game. It is the scrimmage going down tomorrow. Now, I did want to ask you guys if they are going to release some things about the scrimmage here. Who would you like to hear popped off tomorrow? Are there any names in particular from you guys that you would love to hear them say, wow, this guy really flashed? This guy right here, he impressed, offensively or defensively. And while you're letting that kind of simmer here for a minute so you can think of some names, for me personally, I would like to hear some good things about JoJo Trader, obviously at the wide receiver position, because he has to be that guy. He's been that guy at practice so far. This is a scrimmage, simulate a little bit of a game environment. So can JoJo Trader be that guy in a scrimmage? I still think that they bring in a veteran wide receiver. We talked about this, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago before spring practice started. And wide receiver was one of those positions where I said, maybe. It depends, because it depends on how well the young guys do, because it's a very young room, minus C.J. Daniels, right? But C.J. Daniels still dealing with the heel stuff. So I still think that they bring in a veteran guy, or they at least look for one in the spring portal window. But JoJo Trader, I think, needs to have a good scrimmage. A lot of people are probably going to say Ray, because where is Ray been? It should be Ray's time. Is he going to step up? There's been questions about his effort in the drills and things like that, but we only see snippets, so it's really tough to say, right? Paulie, right out of the gate, says Ray. Okay, Kendrick, Malachi Tony, Joshua Moore, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Hayden Lowe, people have been singing his praises, right? Armando Blunt, another Josh Moore, yeah, JoJo, Ray, okay. What about defensively? People are naming a lot of offensive guys, with a few exceptions here. What about on the defensive side of the ball? For me, I guess I could. This could lead into the next discussion here. Rueben Bain, maybe. we know what Rueben Bain is capable of as Miami Hurricanes fans, but a lot of people are talking down on Rueben Bain right now. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit later tonight. There are some clips that involve a specific rep at practice with Rueben Bain, and it's since been deleted. It got so much attention. There was such a big uproar over it that the original poster of this clip from practice with Rueben Bain has since deleted it off of social media, or at least I've not been able to find it any longer. But I would say Rueben Bain, Wesley Basaint, because that's going to be a veteran in that linebacker room. You can name a lot of young guys, but Basaint, come on, bro. If he steps up, man, it could be a big year for him. What about Damari Brown? Yo, hey, Damari Brown. We have not really heard his name called very much so far throughout spring practice. That's not necessarily a bad thing because they just got into full pads this week. But let's hear something about Damari Brown. Let's hear him picking somebody off or some good stuff about Damari Brown. What happened in the clip, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. We'll get to it. Dylan Day, okay. Damari, okay. Zeke, Wesley. Bain and Mesidor will eat. They have great opportunity this season. Okay. Keep talking bad about Rueben Bain. I agree, and you'll see. I'll give my opinion here in just a moment. But I have a very different opinion than what social media is saying. Just being upfront and honest with you. So again, very, very big hype scrimmage coming up tomorrow with the big time recruits and stuff there. So it should be a really good time. Pruitt. Oh yes. Oh yes. Before we get into the Rueben Bain talk though, can we shift gears for just a moment and talk about Pro Day? Because people are already kind of bringing up, they're wanting to talk about Cam Ward. And I have a little thing I can throw up here for us to take a look at before we talk about Cam Ward, because that's the hot topic. You gotta keep the people waiting for that one. So let me bring up the little thing we put together here with some notable 40 times. Just keep in mind, not all of these 40 times are from Pro Day. Some of these are going to be from the Combine, and if I have notes from that, I'll let you know specifically. But the big talk over the last few days, mostly last week, was Xavier Restrepo and his 40 time. I discussed this a little bit on social media, but I didn't really make a video about it because I didn't personally feel like it was that big of a deal. But if you're going to look down at these 40 times, there's going to be a couple that stand out to you. And I would say right out of the gate is Xavier Restrepo, because we're looking at a 4.81, and you can look on down at defensive end Tyler Barron with a faster 40 time than a slot receiver, Xavier Restrepo. So that really kind of freaked some people out, and I totally get it. But since he posted that time, he did put out a statement on social media. He has since removed that statement, probably just because it would draw extra attention to the negativity surrounding it. He knew the reason behind it. The other people there at Pro Day would have known the reasoning behind it. But unofficially here, I guess, a 4.81 40. That's not great. It's not. But I think that if you're a Miami Hurricanes fan, and even if you're not a Canes fan, can we be honest here for a second? The tape doesn't lie. Restrepo always finds a way to get open, and he rarely drops a pass. So these guys know what they're getting with Xavier Restrepo. I think that he can be successful in the NFL. I mean, 40 time isn't everything. Speed is nice, but it's not everything. There's also game speed, which could be totally different. But how well could Xavier Restrepo translate to the NFL? That is a big jump from college to NFL. He's not the biggest guy. And again, 40 time wasn't great. His shuttle time was pretty good. He performed pretty well there. But Restrepo put out a statement, and it read as follows. I don't usually do this, but I feel like it's necessary due to the circumstances. During warm-ups yesterday before my 40, my right hamstring tightened up on me and prohibited me from opening up and running my fastest. The reason I still ran it is because for 2 straight weeks, I consistently hit 4.53 to 4.58. He said laser in training and thought that I could still pull it off. So obviously he probably kind of got pressured a little bit. They want to see you run your 40. He was hitting like a 4.5 or a little bit above. Hamstring tightened up before he ran it. He knew that, but he wanted to push himself and still try. As I said, he since deleted that message. But I wouldn't be super concerned about it. I never thought that Xavier Restrepo was going to be like a first-round wide receiver that was going to be taken. But I think overall, everywhere else, he'll perform very well. And these NFL scouts and stuff and GMs and coaches are not stupid. They're going to go and watch the tape. I find it even funnier then. Okay, look, I'm just saying. Let's talk face-to-face here for a second. All these Gator fans, Florida State fans, all these teams that Miami played last season are roasting Xavier Restrepo on social media, which might have played a part as to why he took down that post, because people were just roasting him underneath that post that he put up with the explanation. But you're telling me then your DBs couldn't cover this slot receiver that runs a 4.81 40 time? Bro, that's embarrassing. Like, what does that say about y'all's defense then? Hey, bro. We can spin this around, however we want. There's no denying that Xavier Restrepo has certified hands. This guy's gonna find a way to get open, and I think that there's an NFL team that will pick him up, and I think he'll do well. I think he'll be fine. I mean, the guy set career records at Miami for receptions and receiving yards and multiple 1,000-plus receiving yard seasons. The numbers, the tape doesn't lie. A bad 40 time, maybe it cost him a little bit of money. It might. I don't think it stops him from getting drafted if he's going to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, that's what... Yeah, I don't understand how you can roast him. That's what you got to do on social media, right, Kendrick? You got to spin it back on him. I tell people all the time, if these opposing teams' fans are going to talk about how trash Miami is, don't let them forget that they said that when we beat them. Because if you get beat by trash, where does that put you? You're under the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? But there are some other 40 times here, some notable ones. It's not all just about Xavier Restrepo. Jacoby George with a 4.6. NFL scouts had actually noted that they like how easily he's able to create separation. We're all big fans of JG3. We just know he had some discipline issues, but seemed like he kind of cleaned them up in 2024. It wasn't too bad, right? Sam Brown with a 4.44. Arroyo didn't run a 40 at Pro Day or the Combine, but was probably one of the more explosive tight ends in the country in 2024, and he had said that he had a knee injury that was bothering him still a bit, so he never ran a 40. Martinez with a 4.51. That was ran at the Combine, not at Pro Day, but that's not bad. Rivers with a 5.29. You have Barron at a 4.62. That was also at the Combine, not at Pro Day. Malinois with a 4.6. He's actually been testing out really well overall. That was also at the Combine. Barrow with a 4.88, Mish Powell with a 4.7, and Daryl Porter Jr. with a 4.65. Are there any of these other ones, minus the obvious Restrepo at the 4.8, which freaks some people out? Are any of these other ones kind of wild to you? Are any of these super impressive or stand out in a good or bad way to you guys? I'm kind of curious. I'll leave it up here for a second. I'm gonna turn my AC on. It's 80 plus degrees in here. Woo! What's up, Dion? Why didn't Arroyo run the 40? He's having some knee issues. And with how well he performed in the season and the Senior Bowl and everything, he'll be fine. Arroyo will be perfectly fine. You don't break receiving records being slow. Yep. Agreed. Yep. Patriots or Titans 4th round. It would be pretty great to see. It would be. No other thoughts on it? That's fair. It's all right. He was a round 2 pick. Now he's probably a high 3 or maybe low 2. With Restrepo, yeah, we'll see. With Restrepo, it's interesting because I try to not let my fandom get in the way. Because for me, I'm a Restrepo guy. I've had XR7 on the show. Huge fan of him just as a person and a football player. Really like Restrepo a lot. He's very hungry, a very driven person. He works hard. I think he can be successful. But I really do think there's going to be plenty of teams that will have some interest in him. It's just got to be the right offense. Somebody that needs somebody his size. Read your reply. What we got, doo-doo? Regardless of his 40 time, Restrepo can be at most DBs that run 4.4 40s. He just knows how to get separation and get open and knows when he's open. Exactly. And that goes back to exactly what we were talking about, right, doo-doo? The tape don't lie. They'll go back. They'll watch Restrepo. They're not laser focused on just the 40 time. It could affect him slightly in a negative way, but it's not game over for Restrepo. What really worked out cool with this is everybody wants to talk about Cam Ward, myself included, because there's a good chance that he becomes a Tennessee Titan. And you guys know my history on this channel. I've not really been super committed to a pro team. I've been all over the place. I was a Dallas Cowboys fan because my wife has family in Texas. At one point when I was like 19, maybe 20, I toured the Dallas Cowboys stadium. Didn't have a pro team. I said, hey, I just watch NFL for fun. Toured the Dallas Cowboys stadium. I said, why not root for the Cowboys? Just to give myself a team, have a little something extra in the game. And it never really felt right because that was the only reason, as silly as it sounds, because I had toured their stadium and my wife had family there. So then I kind of moved on from the Cowboys and I was like, I root for the Miami Hurricanes. Why not root for the Dolphins? So let's try that for a little bit. Even though I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, like a lot of you are Canes fans. Like 99% of people here are Canes fans. There's a few people that aren't. Not all of you are Dolphins fans, right? So not everybody always roots for the same pro team that's in the same city or even state as the college team that they root for. So like I kind of have a soft spot for the Dolphins because they have some players that I like. I'm actually a fan of their head coach. Some people say we look alike. So I do have a soft spot for the Dolphins, but it never really felt right. I didn't really relate to the Dolphins. I don't know how to explain it. So then Mr. Joel Davis. Oh, no, but hold on. I'm still going, Christian. I'm still going. Joel said, hey, Coop, how about this? I know you're not really feeling any of these pro teams. Try rooting for the Jaguars. What about Jacksonville? Okay, but what? I said, my instant response was, but what about Sunshine? I can't root for a guy that sliced and diced Miami up year after year. I can't stand looking at the guy. So I tried it in 2024. They had one of the worst seasons they've had in quite some time. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe. It's still up for debate. But they had a pretty rough go in 2024. And I'm still going to kind of have a soft spot for them because I have friends that are Jags fans and they regularly talk about Jaguars football. So it's kind of easy to get into it, if that makes sense. But I said all that to say this. I live in the state of Tennessee. A lot of people forget that or don't know that. I have no love for the Tennessee Volunteers. No other team that's here in my home state. I've just never really cared for any of them. If Cam Ward, in fact, goes to the Tennessee Titans, and it's looking like it. We're going to talk about it more here for just a second here. I will be all in on the Tennessee Titans. The reason why I've never been a big Titans fan, and then I'll stop making this part about me, Nashville is a whole different world than the eastern half of Tennessee. Like a lot of people that live in Tennessee will tell you, you could divide Tennessee down the middle, and it be two different states, the western side and the eastern side. It's totally different. You don't have to relate to an area like a city or a town to root for that team, but it does help me to be able to root for them. There's a lot of reasons why I like the Miami Hurricanes that kind of come down to that. But if Cam Ward goes to the Titans, I've been looking for a reason to try to root for a home team, and following Cam Ward would give me the perfect opportunity. And during the pro day, Cam Ward was out there lighting it up. And there was a time where he connected with a deep pass, I believe, to Xavier Restrepo possibly. And the Titans brought the whole freaking squad, man. They had their GM there. They had their head coach there. They had their offensive coordinator there. They brought the house. And it was to watch Cam Ward at UM's Pro Day. And he was very impressive, as you would expect him to be. And at one point, he made a big-time throw. And as he ran by the sideline, he said something to the Titans team that was there. I think specifically the GM and the head coach and maybe the OC were kind of standing in that general area. And he kind of said something. And everybody was trying to read his lips and figure out what he said to them. It was after he made that big throw. They asked him. They interviewed him after it. And he said, I told him. He said, I'm solidifying it today. And he told the reporters, now that they've seen me throw in person, it should be all they need to see. We know as Canes fans how confident Cam Ward is, and he doesn't just talk the talk, he backs it up on the field. So I love that confidence from him. He literally told the Titans GM and head coach, I'm solidifying my position today. I will be the number one pick in the NFL draft. You're watching me right here, right now. You see what I'm capable of. I'm going to be a Titan. Here's your opportunity. Don't miss out. And you remember what he said a couple weeks ago. He said, if teams pass on me, that's your fault. Remember that you got to play me, and I'm going to remember that you passed on me. So I love that. I think for the Titans, I don't know all the Titans' history and stuff, but it seems like a franchise quarterback would be big for the Titans. I'm not a Will Levis fan. They had brought in an older gentleman at the quarterback position, which kind of makes it seem like they're probably going to bring in Cam Ward. I don't see a scenario where they don't take Cam Ward, in my opinion. I mean, these other guys that have second, third, fourth pick and beyond would have to come up with a monster deal to get the Titans to trade the pick. Now, they have scheduled a personal workout for Cam Ward, talking about the Titans specifically. But I will say that the Browns did the same thing. But, of course, they're going to want to check him out in case they can come up with some sort of deal. It's looking like maybe Abdul Carter from Penn State might go to the Browns. This dude is a little bit full of himself, but you can't get mad at the confidence after we're talking about Cam Ward doing the same thing. Carter thinks he can still go as the number one pick. He said a couple things on social media and gave some reasons as to why it should be him, but I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. Look, I mean, we're talking, no shade at defensive end from Penn State. Like, he put up big numbers. He's a good football player. You just can't pass on that opportunity. You can't have that number one pick and have a chance to pick up a guy that threw 39 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 2024 in his one season at Miami. I think you're going to regret that. So, David Njoku wants Cam Ward at Cleveland, though. I'm sure there are a lot of other like skill position guys and stuff at other teams with picks later down the line that want their team to look at Cam Ward. Hey, come up with some sort of monster deal. Make a trade. Bring Cam Ward here to us. I would want Cam Ward throwing me the football. Absolutely. But it seems like that he is going to be a Tennessee Titan unless something crazy goes down. And it still just blows my mind to think about the fact, I know we talked about it all season, but just again think about the fact that Cam Ward was a 0-star recruit who started his college career at the FCS level, Incarnate Ward, the Cardinals, and he is potentially going to go as the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Talk about a crazy story. And this is huge for the Miami Hurricanes and recruiting in the future. And I think that it, obviously, not think, it's common sense. It helped bring Carson Beck to Miami. I know everybody was talking about the Cavender twin, and we streamed and talked about the drama with all of that. But look, Cam Ward came to Miami for one season, played in Shannon Dawson's offense, and he is probably going to be, he will be the number one pick in the 2025 NFL draft. That's crazy. And they asked him also about expectations for Carson Beck and if he had any advice for Carson Beck. And in the end, he basically just kind of told Carson Beck, hey, just be yourself and try to win games, which I think is great advice because there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. Miami's first 10-win season last year since 2017. Missing out on the ACC championship game, so expectations are going to be high. You want to get there in 2025. So focus on being yourself, winning football games. Great advice. But he did say, if you are going to play at Miami in Shannon Dawson's offense, which is a very QB-friendly offense, these are his words, not mine. He said, you got to be throwing 30-plus touchdowns. That needs to be the bare minimum as a Miami Hurricanes quarterback in Shannon Dawson's offense. So he's kind of setting a bar there for Carson Beck or any future quarterback coming in. As long as Shannon Dawson is here, they need to be throwing 30-plus touchdowns every single season or more. And I think that's fair. So he's kind of set in some expectations there. But it will be awesome to see if a Miami Hurricane goes as the number one pick. I know he was only here for one season, and you're going to see opposing teams' fans try to downplay him, being a Miami Hurricane because it was only for one season. But I still think it's great because if you want to call Mario Cristobal the quarterback killer, if you want to say that Shannon Dawson is not great with quarterbacks, then he should have regressed. He should have got worse. And his draft stock only went up once he got at Miami. So they can spin it all they want, but it's just not going to work. Now, I will say, wrapping up the Cam Ward talk, they asked the Titans GM about, hey, are you locked in on Cam Ward? Is it Cam Ward or nobody? What's the situation? And his response is your typical, everything's on the table. And that's what you would expect them to say. I saw some people freaking out, well, Cam Ward's not going to go number one. The Titans said they're considering other options. Of course they're going to say that. You're not going to lock that in just yet because there may be some sort of dream offer that comes up. You never know, and you don't want to shut that talk down. So he said everything's on the table, but right now, everything points to Cam Ward going first pick in the NFL draft to the Titans. Again, unless somebody draws up a deal that just can't be turned down. An offer they can't refuse. I've never seen that movie, so I don't know if that was spot on or not. Njoku was smiling his ass off. I bet. Dude is a beast, man. Njoku doesn't even look human. That dude is something else. He's a specimen. It's crazy. Now, the last time a Miami Hurricane was selected number one was back in 1991. And that was to the Cowboys. That was defensive tackle Russell Maryland. I'm not going to pretend like I know who that guy is. I would have been 2 years old. Yeah. I was 2 years old the last time a Miami Hurricane went number one in the NFL draft, which is kind of sad when you think about it. I'm 35. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not 20 years old living in my mother's basement. I'm 35 years old. And 1991, the last time, that's quite a long time. But luckily, Cam Ward is going to change that. And hopefully Carson Beck, he's not going to fill Cam Ward's shoes. I don't think. Just because those are massive shoes to fill. But hopefully, if the defense can improve a little bit, hopefully Carson Beck doesn't have to. Hopefully he doesn't have quite as much pressure. Hopefully we don't have to score 40, 45, 50-plus points a game. It'd be nice, but hopefully Miami doesn't have to stay in the game. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of all I've got for the pro day talk. We saw the 40 times there. We're going to have multiple Canes going in the NFL draft, which is going to be exciting. So we'll try to cover it here a little bit. And all eyes on Cam Ward. Does he become a Tennessee Titan? But I do want to talk about the Rueben Bain clip. Do you guys know the clip I'm talking about that was all over social media this week? It's really unfortunate that I don't have any way to show you that clip, because I know people are going to say, Coop, we're going to sit here and talk about a video clip that you can't even put up on the screen. It's been scrubbed from the freaking internet, apparently. I know the internet is forever, but I have looked everywhere. I've checked the Facebook groups. I've checked X. The people that posted this clip have pulled it, and I guess it's because of all the negativity that was kind of surrounding it. I don't know. I don't know if they were told to take it down. I don't know really what's going on with that. It's not a big deal. I'll just go ahead and say I don't think it's fair to say that Rueben Bain has regressed. I think we have to see what he does in 2025, because last year he had the very unfortunate injury early in the season. And then I will say, though, that when he came in, he was not that impact guy. He just wasn't. He really wasn't that impressive. And it's okay to call him out on that. But to be fair, not making excuses for Rueben Bain, to be fair, in Lance Guidry's defense, pretty much everybody looked bad. There were some flashes here and there, but for the most part, nobody looked great. And we're talking about some guys that we thought were going to take a big leap in 2024, and they didn't. Is it all on them? Maybe. Is it all on Guidry? Possibly. Is it a combination of the two? I mean, that's probably most likely, but we don't know. We got to see in 2025 if Rueben Bain can be healthy and make an impact on the field. But the clip that was circulating was one rep, all right? One rep in a drill. And it was the particular one that I'm talking about. Maybe there's others floating around, but this clip was Rueben Bain versus the tight end Luka Gilbert. Young guy, but big guy. 6'7", 233 pounds, and it looked like either minimal effort from Rueben Bain or just Gilbert absolutely dominated the rep. But here's the problem. We don't have the full context. So is it possible that that was really not a pass rushing drill? Because you know how some of these drills and stuff can be that they run. So maybe it wasn't about Rueben Bain getting to the quarterback. There wasn't anybody there at the time, but you know what I'm saying. We don't have the context of exactly what that drill or rep was, what happened before, what happened after. Did Gilbert dominate that rep and then Bain dominates the next one, but there's just no viral clip on social media? We don't know. All I'm saying is it's spring, so we've got the spring practice overreactions. And I'm guilty of doing it too. I'm not pretending like I'm better than anybody else. Oh man, look at that throw. This guy's going to be a great quarterback at Miami. And I base it off of one throw. I'm guilty of doing it too. But I'm telling you that this week, social media was blowing up about that rep by Rueben Bain. Opposing teams' fans ran with it. They were talking about he just needs to hit the portal and come to our school to be properly developed because he's only gotten worse and worse since he's been at Miami. And I was open and honest and said that he wasn't super impressive in 2024 once he made his return. He wasn't. But I can't base what I can't take one snippet. I can't take a 15-second clip from social media from one rep in a drill and say that Rueben Bain is all of a sudden trash. He should transfer. He's not being properly developed. I got to see it on the field in 2025. And I know, again, it's not just opposing teams fans. It was a lot of Canes fans that are saying, you know what, Rueben Bain, he's gotten lazy. Somebody else is going to come in and take his spot. when we were singing his praises going into 2024, and he didn't look the best. But I just thought that the overreactions were kind of funny. If I could find the clip, like I'll literally check it live right now, because I don't know if everybody saw that clip. I'll do one more check, but I'm telling you that clip has been scrubbed. It's gone. It is gone from the internet. When you go to look for it, I had bookmarked it. Because there's other good reps. You have some reps of Mawanoa versus Bain, and this is just as recent as yesterday. So Thursday's practice, full pads. It looks fine. It looks just fine, but nobody's talking about those because negativity and drama sells. I completely understand. I'm in the business. Yeah, it's gone. When you click on any of the stuff that I bookmarked, anything with the Rueben Bain clip, it's gone from the internet. So I don't know what happened there, but the good news is, whether it was on Bain or not, Luka Gilbert is a monster. 6'7", dude is massive out there. So that's a really good sign. Scrimmage tomorrow, gonna be hype. Spring game coming up. We'll still be live for that. What's that date again? Let me get a check here. April 12th. April 12th. So that's what, 2 Saturdays? 2 more Saturdays after this Saturday. So I have Saturday the 29th tomorrow, which will be the scrimmage. Then you're going to have the 5th, yep, and then the 12th. So then that'll be the spring game at Cobb Stadium. Same place as last year. We'll do the live hangout for it, and we'll react to it. I'll try to have links and stuff for it if I can. Hopefully I'll be able to have it. I think last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they aired it on either ACC Network or ACC Network Extra. But also, Miami had Cam Ward. This year, I'm not trying to be negative, but the hype has been relatively low when it comes to spring coverage for the Canes. And I myself am guilty of it. Look, I hadn't really covered much of it this week. Again, it's a lot of just repetition. It's just, again, the same things going on. Everybody wants to see Carson Beck throwing the football, and it's the battle for QB2. I would say from what I've heard, maybe you're hearing something different, but it seems like Emory is still kind of that QB2. It's not that Nickel is doing bad, but he's a freshman. He's a young guy, and he's making some mistakes as expected. And Judd, I still just not hearing a whole lot about Judd. So it seems like it's Emory. A lot of those big-time throws are from Emory Williams. And it is nice, though. They have Carson Beck. I've seen a lot of the clips of Beck at practice. And he's laying on his back. There was that big picture that went viral of him throwing a football, but it was a picture. And it was him throwing it with his left arm. But he's been kind of laying on his back. And, he's throwing the football up in the air. And Carson Beck is still going through the motions, as he's been doing all spring practice. So that way he kind of goes in, he gets the reps. He's doing everything but throwing the actual football. So he should be ready to go. I still personally think, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I still think it could be a pretty good season. I'm excited about Carson Beck, and I still think he's a good pickup. But it has killed some of the hype because, again, last year it was through the roof. Man, everybody was foaming at the mouth. Any little snippet of spring coverage, man, any little clip of Cam Ward, even just a picture, anything. And now, quarterback is the hot topic, battle for QB2. It's a lot of young guys at the wide receiver position. Fletcher's probably going to be RB1, he shed some pounds, which was kind of interesting. He said he actually feels faster, he feels stronger. But Fletcher definitely going to be RB1, in my opinion anyways. You're going to have Bain out there. You're going to have Mesidor out there. So people kind of know what to expect. Quarterback talk gets clicks, it gets views, it gets hype. And we just don't really have that because, Beck is going to be given the keys to the offense. And a lot of Canes fans are I'm just being blunt. Like, they kind of want to move on from Emory Williams, even though we've only seen kind of some small samples of him in some games. But he's not really been a fan favorite. I think we kind of have this shiny new toy thing with Luke Nickel. I personally don't think he'll be ready in 2025 to back up Carson Beck. But we'll still have to see. The spring portal will be interesting for Miami because I still, again, think they bring in a veteran wide receiver. I personally still think they shop for another linebacker, but we'll see. I still think they might even look for another running back, possibly. We got to see what happens there. I think Lyle could be RB2. I know you have some other guys chomping at the bit that are young that want to get in the rotation, but they probably mostly see special teams play this season, in my opinion. So we'll see what they do with the running back room. I heard in another YouTube channel that the problem with many players not looking good or fast last year might have something to do with the strength and conditioning coach making them slower. That would be a good topic to talk about, Ernesto. Are you guys fans of Miami's strength and conditioning coach, the mustache man? Because ever since Mario Cristobal came here and, of course, brought him with him, we all know he's a very high-energy guy. A large portion of the fan base believes that he's really not that great. People feel like that the Miami players have gotten slower. They feel like that they're not as in shape. They're not conditioned as well. They're not able to play 4 full quarters. And I see that a lot on social media. I see that real often, as a matter of fact. I kind of don't know how I feel. I know a lot of people pointed at him when it came to injuries, but I feel like injuries do happen. Sometimes you get the injury bug. Sometimes it's just bad luck. Could it be strength and conditioning? Sure. I mean, it could be. It definitely could be. But it's kind of hard to point the finger at that because it just happens sometimes, you know? You can have a great strength and conditioning coach and, it's not going to stop, some guy rolling over your back and snapping your ankle. Like it's really not going to help that much. It's going to happen. You agree with that take on the mustache man? Okay, fair. You like him. Brings a lot of energy. Miami needs that. Yeah, it's just something that's a big topic on social media. I like to bring up the social media topics because not everybody's over on X and the other various different platforms. So I like to talk about it here, see if you guys have heard anything or saw it, and then get this community's feedback and opinion on it. And on social media, he's not a fan favorite. He's really not. At Oregon, they loved him. Absolutely loved him. Came to Miami. Of course, Mario Cristobal brings him with. And it's not really... He doesn't get a whole lot of love. I'm kind of indifferent. I like the high energy. I like coaches that are vocal. And he's definitely that. But, I mean, so people bring up guys that it seems like they can't put on weight. Right? Miami has some guys that are just leaner, but also is that just their builds? Who else was it I was thinking of? Lightfoot and Rudolph. Rudolph is kind of a thinner guy, right? 230, 235. And a lot of those guys, it seems like they haven't really put on any additional weight. But they are more kind of speed guys. So maybe they're trying to kind of keep them as that. I don't know. I can't pretend like I know what's going through his mind when it comes to prepping these guys. But it's a hot topic for sure. It's definitely debated quite a bit. That's honestly, man, I got to quit blowing through these so quick, man. That's all I've got. Pro Day talk. Big spring scrimmage happening tomorrow with big time recruits there. Have to make a good impression on those guys. Continue to build that relationship, but also win lots of football games in 2025 so we actually keep them. They put pen to paper. Pro Day 40 times, some Combine 40 times, some winners, some losers. The Restrepo statement. Cam Ward probably going to be a Tennessee Titan. has a personal workout scheduled, already held one with the Browns. And the controversial, somewhat viral clip of Rueben Bain versus Luka Gilbert. Bain losing the rep, the internet losing their minds, freaking out, overreacting a bit. And spring game coming up in a couple weeks will be live here on the channel. That's Bain. We blew through it. Yo, we blew through it. Bahama, what's up, my man? About to have to change that calendar over here in a couple days. It's funny because today is my wife and I's 15th wedding anniversary, and I spent the day running the Bobcat outside, filling up the dumpster, and hanging out with you guys. So that should tell you a little something about how I feel about y'all. That was my whole day. We didn't go out. We didn't do anything, which is why I think it's so funny when people. I guess I look younger. Do I look? Be honest with me. Do I look younger than 35? Be real. Was probably up at the crack of noon. I'll have you know, Cypher, I woke up at 10:15 this morning. It did take me until 12:15 to get ready, however. Yeah, I got out of the shower at noon, was in the Bobcat by 12:30. Yep. I'm exhausted. Thank you, Doo-Doo. You look 45? I ain't buying that. What? Here, do I look 35 to y'all? I don't know what stepping back from the camera is going to do. I don't know. Maybe a different angle, side profile.
This is what it takes to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Co-op with the cap on 25. Co-op with the cap off 45.
All right, you got me with that one. Nobody laughed, Bahama. Nobody laughed, but it was a good one. I appreciate you. Bahama AC. With the 305. Thank you, Bahama. We are not going to take the cap off to find out. Because you might be right. That hair is working its way back. You ain't wrong. But I get that all the time. People think I'm like 20, 25. I'm like, no, listen, bro. I've been married for 15 years. I'm an old man. See, when you get old like me, you know, we don't buy roses. We don't, you know, we go outside, we work. We go outside and we play in the dirt, you know. Thank you, Lamar. I appreciate you. And again, thank you, Bahama. But that's real talk. That's what we did today. That really is. But we've been wanting to clean up the property here for years. So long, and we finally lined it up. We got the dumpster, we got the Bobcat. So that's going to be what I'm doing for the next week, probably all week. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, all the way in through next week. But as I said, if there's any stuff that comes out, if they drop any numbers, if I can find a way to get any additional numbers from the scrimmage, we'll see. I can't make any promises because we know how it is. Very limited viewing for everything, or closed entirely, which is understandable. So if there's anything that comes out tomorrow, but it might not be tomorrow, it might be Sunday. I'm not worried about breaking news or trying to be first or anything like that. I still want to react to it, talk about it, and get your guys' opinions on it, whether it's the day of, 5 minutes after, or 5 days after. I still like hanging out with y'all and discussing it. So we'll see. Us millennials are in the prime of our lives. It's interesting because sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes I feel pretty good. I think it's more so me needing to take better care of my body. And then I think I would feel like I'm in my prime. You know, staying up till 4 a.m. every day, eating one meal a day, and working all the time doesn't do well for your body. That's for sure. So, hey, man, that's all I got. A little bit of a shorter stream tonight, but hopefully it was a good one. Hopefully we provided some information. I think we had some good but quick topics to discuss. We'll try to get more into spring if some different things happen or pop up. Again, it's spouting off a lot of repetitive stuff, same names being thrown out there, same stuff happening. But we'll see. Maybe on the tail end, Carson Beck will be out there. Maybe he comes in the spring game and they let him throw one pass. I don't know. The fan base would erupt. They would go crazy. But obviously, don't rush the guy. Let him heal up. We need him for the 2025 season. But could you imagine? Imagine at the spring game if Carson Beck rolls out and he just does even just one. It doesn't even have to be like a whole series or a whole possession. He comes out there for one snap, one play, or they let him hand it off because it's not like they're going to hit the quarterbacks. So what if they bring Beck in, no contact, of course, and let him actually hand the ball off? The fan base would go crazy. They go absolutely crazy just to see him out there, see him suited up. Yeah. Hey, mate, you know he wants to, right? You know he wants to. And you know it's got to be killing him. You know, you see it, the good thing about Carson Beck, that there's a lot of negativity. There was the whole Cavendish situation. We did a stream saying, who cares? This is probably better for him anyways. I don't care if anybody disagrees or not. It's probably better for him because she has already put up other posts, lip-singing different raps that are basically dissing him. They're about him, talking about she's going to get her a better man and this and that. That's all fine and dandy. Carson, get over here, focus on football. It's fine. What's up, Duck? Duck checking in. But you know that, man, he has one more shot. He has one more shot to boost his draft stock for the NFL. He would rather be out there throwing the football. Absolutely. And I know he's done a few questionable things off the field and stuff, but man, if Duke can come in here and lock in and have a decent season at Miami, the guy has proven that he can win some big-time football games. We've looked at the stats. We broke it down. I like the guy. Just personally, I do. I know there are a lot of Georgia fans that talk about his work ethic and party stuff and social media Snapchat nonsense and all this. Bro, if Duke can come in here and win football games, that's all I'm really worried about. That's all I'm worried. Don't bring a lot of negative attention and drama to Miami. What's up, Hayden? My nephew checking in. Then that's all I'm worried about. But again, hey, no reason for me to drag it on. That's all I got. If you're watching this after the fact, you're watching the VOD, leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about the potential of Cam Ward being a Tennessee Titan? I know there are a lot of Miami fans that are pissed because they're worried about, the Titans maybe whooping up on their team. We'll see. I got to freshen up on some Titans knowledge. I've not followed them. I don't know their history, even though I live in the state. So I got to read up on the Titans. I got to become familiar with them. Plus, they've shuffled their coaching staff around. They've rebuilt it. So hopefully they're serious about football, and they do. They go get Cam Ward. I think he'll be great, John. I really, truly think Cam Ward is that guy. Again, it's such a perfect story as a 0-star recruit and then going at number 1 in the 2025 NFL draft. I feel like that's something that a guy doesn't take for granted. I think it shows the work ethic. He's always saying, why not me? And again, does he talk a little trash? Is he confident? Sure. Does he also back it up on the field? Absolutely. So who cares? And I think that if you're an NFL coach, you want a guy that's confident like that, that's going to come out and compete each and every day. And again, you saw what he did at Miami. First 10-win season since 2017, and it sure as heck had nothing to do with the defense. It would be so sick. This is dream scenario, all right? And then I'm ending for real. I'll hit the end stream button. Imagine a scenario where they take Cam Ward, number 1, and then in like the 3rd round or something, they pick up Restrepo. Because of that connection, wouldn't that be crazy? Need to come to Pittsburgh? No, sir. No, sir. And he also had an okay pro day performance, but he did miss several kicks. He hit multiple from 50 plus in front of multiple guys, but he did miss several as well. I think he missed 2 or 3 that he said he really wanted back, because we know Mr. Automatic is good for it, but his brother's still struggling. He's not been able to find a place to call home for a pro team. Hopefully it's different for Andy. Because I feel like we know what he's capable of, but there's definitely a few from the pro day that he'd like to have back. What's up, Fuzzy Bunny? I appreciate you checking in, bro. We're going to call it for the night. Much love to everybody for hanging out with me on a Friday night. Almost said Saturday. Heck, I don't even know what day it is. And maybe I'll see y'all tomorrow. Maybe. Exactly. That's the problem. That would mean that Pittsburgh is successful. And we can't have that. That's good for Cam Ward, and I'll be happy for him. I don't think I could follow him to Pittsburgh. I don't think I could do it, Kendrick. There's some places like you got to draw the line, right? Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Seattle. Whoa. You know what I mean? Hey, Titans, Dolphins. Maybe I had a couple others. No, bro. No. Good luck. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck. Shout out to Top Dono of the night, my man, good friend, Bahama SC, Corey Gray with the 55 months in a row. Thank you for the love, Corey. Appreciate everybody hanging out, chatting it up. Again, there should be some extra excitement once the scrimmages happen. Obviously, spring game, it'll hype it up a little bit, but we'll get into something. I'm ready for the season, bro, and it's March. What are we gonna do? Bro, it's March! Well, I know what we're gonna do. We have the simulated season coming up in June. It's not the real thing, but it can maybe hold us over for a little bit. We do have that coming up. Regularly scheduled simulated season. Coop Plays version also on Saturday nights. Coming soon. But until then, we gotta talk spring and we gotta roll with it. It is what it is. So, hey, I love y'all. You know what to do. I'll see y'all soon.